I was not expecting this story to hit me the way it did. I of course heard of this story and I knew basically what it was about, but I've never read the book and I couldn't recall anything from the movie that I had seen years and years ago. So I saw it sitting around and thought, let's go give it a shot. Have a little fun. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start out, no spoilers. Jump into spoilers, and then we're going to talk about how the book compares to the movie from the 70s. All right? So, if you're like me, maybe you knew, Carrie, it's about a girl. She has maybe some kind of special powers, and at the end, she goes a little nuts. That's the basic idea. So, who is Carrie? Carrie is a 17-year-old girl going through high school and having a tough time of it. One, because her home life is awful. Her mom is quite a religious zealot, and she's always telling Carrie, she's like, Carrie, if you do this, this is a sin. Thinking this is a sin. Looking at this is a sin. And she's always yelling at her, having her atone and praise, like, you need to pray for your sins. And so her home life is just horrible. She's physically abused by her mom, mentally and emotionally abused. She gets thrown into the closet and her mom makes her sit in there and pray until whenever her mom feels like letting her out. It's awful. So of course, then when Carrie goes off to school, she's not exactly the most normal person. So at school, again, 17 years old, high school, the kids are not nice to her. She gets picked on, and it's the same abuse, physical abuse, mental and emotional, getting called names, getting pushed, having stuff thrown at her. So it is rough for Carrie. Now, what the kids at school don't know, but Carrie and her mom know, is that Carrie has some kind of special powers. Now, when we join up with Carrie, she hasn't mastered these. She knows that when she gets really emotional, whether it's upset or angry, stuff happens. Whether that's stuff flying off the walls or light bulbs exploding, she just knows that she's the cause of it. And so when we pick up with her, she's still in this kind of beginning phase and getting to the point where she wants to start to learn how to control it. So throughout the story, we kind of get that little journey with her. So let's talk about what the story is about and where it goes. Like I said, I'm just going to give you the plot points for no spoilers, plot points of where this is going. The book starts out with an incident at school. In the girls' locker room, the showers after PE class, something really embarrassing happens with Carrie, and the girls just jump on her like a pack of dogs. Again, throwing stuff at her, calling her names, laughing, and Carrie is just, devastated, doesn't know what's going on, and it's a rough situation. Now, the PE teacher comes in, catches all the girls doing this, and, reprimands them, says, you've all got detention. You're not going to the prom, which is the big event in this book, prom night. Everything's leading up to prom night. So, of course, the girls are like, all right, we'll do our detention so we go to prom night. And one of the girls who was being mean to Carrie, she feels really bad about it. Really bad. And to make up for it, she tells her boyfriend, she tells him, please don't go with me to the prom. Take Carrie. She needs to get out. She needs to be around people. So take Carrie with you to the prom and leave me at home. And he agrees to it. He says, okay, I'll ask her to the prom. Now, on the other hand, we've got a girl who doesn't want to go to detention, says screw detention, and thus she's not going to the prom. Well, then her and her butthead of a boyfriend, they get together and say, all right, if we can't go to prom, then we're going to make sure that prom is a prom that nobody will ever forget, and not in a good way. So that's pretty much how the story starts off, leading up to prom night and all the fun that happens there later on. Now, I found this book, you think Stephen King, you think horror, supernatural. And of course, there's that in here with the telekinetic powers that Carrie has. But really, for me, what hit me really hard was the human story, the emotional attachment you feel to Carrie. You know, all this abuse she gets, not only at school but from her mom. It just keeps building and building, and really, it's from her mom. You know, at school we get that first incident, and then kids kind of leave her alone. But at home, man, her mom just lays into her always, always, and really, really beating her hard. It's kind of hard, difficult to read, beating her and then throwing her into that closet to pray. It's rough. It's really rough. So you just build this attachment to Carrie, feeling so bad for her the whole time, because she's got that on the one hand, but then she's got on the other hand this happiness with the boy who asked her to prom. And so she's kind of like battling these emotions, and you know, trying to be happy and more confident, but at the same time, as soon as she goes home, pew, slap down, you know. So it's rough. It's rough. And for me, I just couldn't help but feel so much for her. So yeah, if people ask me what this book was like, I would not say, oh, it's a horror or a supernatural tale. It's a human story to me. That's really what it was. Now there are some bits in there when they go between POVs for characters. You know, they're following Carrie around, and then they're going to switch to someone else at the high school. They kind of put in something that happens in the future, like police depositions, interviewing people about what happened during that time. Maybe there's an essay written about Carrie, or news articles about what was going on in the town, what happened to the people, and that kind of stuff. There was another book I read, The Troop by Nick Cutter. It kind of did the same thing, and I didn't like it in that book because those future, it also had depositions and articles and like, I think maybe like TV interviews, but they just gave away what was going on in the story that you're reading. So when you went back to the kids on the island, it kind of ruined it because they're wondering what's going on, and now you know everything. It didn't really bother me in this book because I already knew basically what was going to happen at the end. So it didn't bother me so much. They get into some of the future stuff. They're talking like genetics and the scientific reason behind why Carrie is the way she is. And I didn't really care for that. You know, with the supernatural, you kind of want to be left in the dark, have that mystery, and, you know, have your own questions and come up with your own answers. So some of that I didn't really care for, but, you know, it was all right. Like I said, it definitely didn't ruin any of the story for me. But yeah, I would definitely check it out if you're going for a strictly supernatural horror feel. Maybe this won't quench that thirst, but if you want a little bit of that with a great human story, then I would go with it. I mean, it was a really, really good book. All right, now let's jump to spoilers. Like I said, we're going to do spoilers and then the movie stuff. So if you have not read the book or you haven't seen the movie, don't jump to the movie part because there's going to be all kinds of spoilers there too. So if you haven't read the book, go read it and then come back. All right, and we'll check you out later. All right, spoiler time. First, let me just say, in the book, Chris and her boyfriend, I couldn't dislike them anymore. And I disliked them so much that I even kind of started skimming through their sections. It just, man, she was bad enough, but then the boyfriend was on another level, and I wanted bad things to happen to him. So I was glad he got his comeuppance, but yeah, those two just couldn't get away from those parts quick enough. Now let me jump to the end. After the blood falls, and it talked about the people laughing. Obviously, high school kids, there's going to be people laughing, but it talked about the people who maybe didn't want to laugh, but they just couldn't help it. They're like, oh, it's the only natural reaction, or we just couldn't help it. That was the only thing we could do. And maybe somebody can help me down in the comments, tell me what that was all about, because I didn't quite get why some people, they couldn't help but laugh. You only had to laugh. Maybe I missed something. So that's just something that kind of stuck with me. It was like, why did they have to laugh? And everyone, even the teachers, had to laugh. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. I thought it was nice once Carrie, or the blood fell, and then I think there's a sentence that says, and then the laughter started, or they started to laugh. And then once we hit that sentence, I think the next like 15 or 16 pages, we didn't get, we weren't with Carrie at all. We got the POV from, was it Sue, when she was at her house and she heard stuff going on. We got the guy who was at the police station, saw the gas station explode. And then we got someone inside the gymnasium who was just kind of watching this all happen, watch Carrie run out. So I thought it was just enough. You know, if they had carried that on for too long, then I would have been itching too much to get back to Carrie. It's like, what's Carrie doing? I want to know what Carrie is thinking. So I thought that was nice. You know, it's like they started to laugh. Boom. You don't get any Carrie for a bit. We're going to see what happens around the town for a few pages. But then we jump back with Carrie. And again, just the emotional connection I have with what she's going through. She runs out, she falls down, she runs out, she falls down on the grass outside the school, looking up the stars, and her first thought is just to curl back in her old self, right? I should go home, go to mom, say I'm sorry, never talk to another kid again, and just do what mom says, because that's all I should do. That's what feels safe and secure. But then, you know, she has that moment, she flips and she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm tired of everyone, tired of this life, and I'm not taking it anymore. Which, man, you think about her ride. 17 years old, her life is just down in the dumps. Then all of a sudden, phew, something awesome happens. And things start to go up. And then, hey, who's prom queen? Carrie. Pew, it goes up even higher. So we have this short amount of time where it's like she just goes from zero to hero, feeling awesome, thinking, wow, you know, life doesn't have to be hell. And she's riding high, and it just gets... Man, she gets cut down in an instant. And if you've ever been excited about something and it doesn't turn out, and you feel that just sadness, but you also feel anger. You're like, oh, why couldn't this happen, man? We were so close. Things were going good, and then gone. And so when she gets angry, yeah, I could feel it with her. I was like, I don't condone what's about to happen, but I totally understand it. Yeah, that it's just good stuff. Like I said, the whole time I felt so connected to her. When it was just building, and it was released. I don't know. Kind of felt good to me. I wasn't expecting. I don't know if King had a little fetish with people getting electrocuted, or he just decided in this book people are just going to get electrocuted and fried, because it seemed most of the gore was people getting fried by electricity. So I didn't think it was that gory or crazy. I just thought, okay, there goes another one. All right, let's jump even further towards the end. And here's what I want to know what you think. Her mom's death. She goes home, and they get into it, and eventually Carrie's way of letting her mom go is slowing her heart down, right? Slowing her heart down. And you're thinking, at least I was, she's doing it. She loves her mom, somehow still loves her mom, and she's going to let her go. Mom, off you go, maybe into heaven, probably not, but I'm releasing you of all your pain, your struggles, off you go. And so I think it was a very loving gesture, even though she was crying and it was hard, and it's not really probably what she wanted to do. She probably knew, is like, I need to do this, and I'm going to do this. Off you go, Mom. I did like that part where her mom's reciting the Lord's Prayer, and she gets the part that says, thy will be done, and then Carrie instantly goes, my will be done. So, you know, she wasn't doing it and thinking I shouldn't do this. She knew what she was doing and thinking, no, it's my time. It's my time now. So I thought that was interesting. And also, Carrie goes outside, gets rid of the two idiots in the car, and even towards the very end, she's still always saying, Mama, Mama. And right in my heart. Again, I just couldn't feel for her enough, crying, Mama, Mama. This woman who had tortured her all her life, thrown her in the closet, beat her, even as a teenager. And she still, you know, just wanted her love, wished that it would have been different, and still crying out for her mom. And so yeah, when the book ended, I just was filled with so much emotion about all that. Yeah, so that's all I got on there. Like I said, this book, I did not expect to feel that way about this book or at the end of this story, but I did, and I liked it. It was really nice, really nice. Okay, let's jump to the movie. The 1976, was it? I saw they had that one like 2013, but I started looking online and people said the older one was creepier, so I was like, oh, let me just do the old original one. The movie moves pretty quick, right? It's only an hour and a half, so they have to skip a lot. And some things they skipped are okay. Some things they should have left in, I think, would have helped it. The things they skipped, like Chris, the girl with her boyfriend, the whole part about her dad being a lawyer and suing the school and all this blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, throw that out. We don't need that. What else do we have? Oh, the family history. Or the history, remember when Carrie got upset and all the rocks were falling down into the house? The history with her father and her mom. And obviously all the articles about genetics and the recessive gene and how this is how Carrie came to be. Not necessary. So I didn't miss any of that. The one thing I thought would have helped the movie, since I felt that big emotional pull towards Carrie, I think if they had more scenes where just showing the abuse for her mom, because we got a little bit of that. I think we got a closet scene once, but we didn't get more of the violence, the beating, more of the yelling, just more time at home. I think that really would have, because when I finished the movie, I thought, okay, that was fine, but I didn't feel the way I did towards the girl on screen that I did to the girl in the book. So I think if they had done that, it would have been a lot better. Obviously, I don't know if this movie was released in theaters or if it was just made for TV. You got a certain amount of time you can fill, so do what you got to do. That's just me. Like I said, the book, obviously everyone says, oh, the book was better. Yeah, the book was a lot better. Not everything in the book is fantastic. You can cut it out, but the book overall was much better. And like I said, unexpected how it affected me, and I'm probably gonna remember it a long time. What was it, last year, a couple of years ago, it was the same way when I read Rosemary's Baby. I didn't expect to feel too much. It's about a woman who's pregnant. I'm just in for the creepy story. But as it went along, you get the connection with this woman who's going through all of this, and yeah, I was pretty emotional after that one too. So it's the same thing, people who are mistreated or their life is rough. It's not easy to read about, and you feel really bad, and it gets to you. I think especially as you get older and you start to experience more things, see other people experience trials and hard stuff in life, it really makes you sympathize and empathize with some of these characters more. So yeah, I guess I'll end it there. Don't need to keep babbling on. Though speaking of books and movies, I've been trying to jump into this one, The Hobbit. I tried to watch these movies when they came out until I found out there were going to be like 3 movies. I'm like, okay, never mind. I don't want to sit through 3 of these movies. So, going to try this one. Maybe have this review up a week or so after this Carrie one. Yeah, we'll give it a go. See how it is. Anywho, leave me a comment down below. Please let me know what you think about the book. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Bye.